Hi everyone, this is Fred on Spirit Reflections, and this is part of our 81 episode exploration of the book Tao of Leadership by John Heider, a modern adaptation of the ancient Chinese text Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu over 500 years BC. Today we're going to read chapter 44, followed by a short comment meditation to help your day get off to a great start, and I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of these teachings, these ideas? Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't yet, please consider liking and subscribing to Spirit Reflections on YouTube. It's free to do so, and it really helps us a lot. So, chapter 44 is entitled Owning or Being Owned. It goes like this. Are you doing this work to facilitate growth or to become famous? Which is more important? Acquiring more possessions or becoming more conscious? Which works better, getting or letting go? There is a problem with owning a lot. There is a problem with getting more and more. The more you have and the more you get, the more you have to look after, the more you might lose. Is that owning or being owned? But if you give up things, you can give up spending your life looking after things. Try being still in order to discover your inner security. If you have inner security, you'll have what you want anyway. Also, you'll be less harried and you'll last longer. Start here from the end. What is this inner security that we discover when we achieve stillness? It can be what Jesus said, I leave you my peace. Peace be upon you. Peace on earth. So this notion of inner peace, inner security, is this gentle detachment with outcomes, results, and expectations. And we can look at this literally and conclude that we have to give up the pursuit of things altogether and just join a monastery and become a monk for the rest of our lives. And that's a literal interpretation, which I don't think is what the essence of this message here is wanting to show us, is our emotional attachment to the process. When I'm able to feel how things unfold and I'm one with that consciously, I find that inner security within, and then I am able to get and own more things, but I won't be owned by them. I won't be attached emotionally to those things. The problem here is the desire that we feel our hearts with constant wanting to grow at all costs. That is the problem. And he says here, which works better, getting or letting go? If we look at it from this point of view that I just described, then letting go works much better because it makes us feel much lighter, much more detached, much freer to be able to move with the natural rhythms of the universe. But at the same time, of course, we are here on earth and we are meant to interact with the material world of owning things and looking after things. The trick is in a constant practice of meditation practices, spiritual practices that I can have in my day alongside the material pursuits, so that I'm able to temper my heart and temper my emotions and be able to be in the midst of all of the material obligations and duties that we are called on without getting in the sense chained or hooked or bounded by these things. One example that comes to my mind right now is Warren Buffett, an extremely wealthy and successful man who displays an inner simplicity, an inner contentment with what he has, and he is very detached from that. And he looks at all of his acquisitions as things to be put in service of humanity as a whole, and not benefiting him only and being owned by those things. So that's just one example of achieving an inner security by maintaining that stillness as I pursue the outside things in the world that I am called in my heart and in my mind to fulfill. After all, if we have talents, gifts, desires, and abilities, we are called to put those in service of humankind and ourselves. And that implies getting things, owning things. But in the process, let us maintain that inner stillness and that spiritual practice, whatever it is for you, on a daily basis, so that I'm able to not be owned by this process. Okay. Let's now do our meditation. I'm going to put some background music here. And I invite you to take a couple of slow, deep breaths in. Let's open our hearts and our hands in an attitude of receiving. Imagining our arms outstretched and facing upwards toward heaven in a way that sees and acknowledges all the gifts, all the beautiful free gifts that are there ready for our souls to get. And we can start with getting those gifts by breathing. Take a few moments to achieve that stillness and discover our inner security, that peaceful state through our breathing. And as I engage in slow, relaxed, deep breaths in and in complete exhales, I nourish in the process all the cells of my body. I offer them the gift of peace. I knowingly cleanse them of the things that weigh them down. And I choose in this moment not to be owned anymore by those fears, by those anxieties, resentments, grudges. I disconnect myself from them, and as I breathe out, I release them. I give them back to the air, and I feel more grounded in this moment, more connected with my inner wisdom, more aware of how things happen. And as I become aware of how things happen, I ease and relax into the present moment. With the quality of my consciousness, my inner emptiness, an ability to be receptive. And so with that, I let go And I release. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes. With the same stillness, I wish you a great rest of your day.